coming through the final corner. Martin and Binder swap. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 1:31.211, the best from Binder. You can just see how much time preservation is a factor early on here. The top 20 riders at the end of lap 4 will come by less than 5 seconds. Here comes Marquez and trying to make it back. The Italian up to 4th. Schubert.
To Pecco Bagnaia at this stage of the race, given out. Trundling into the end by Marc Marquez. Much like in Australia, isn't it? He's kept his head. He's realised that it's a long race. There's almost 70 laps to go. The points are handed out at the end, and Pecco Bagnaia is starting to make his way into contention here.
He said yesterday in the sprint that he felt like he had clear podium pace. Right, we're racing here. It's a brilliant launch. By Lucarini. He's going to get the drop on Hoy Martin, and Martin comes around the outside to the first corner. Bagnaia went well too from 6th place. Even side by side with Alex Marquez. Bagnaia up into 4th already.
It looks suspiciously like a jump start for Maverick Vinales. Come on, take a close look at that. He's just behind the trigger.
Tossed it out there with the brakes and squeezed in between Binder and Alex Marquez, but he got the better of both of them in that braking into 4th place. Begins his pursuit of your race leader Martin. Alexis Spargo's got through on Marini up into 2nd place on the factory clear. Marquez trying to find a way through a Bezzecchi in the turn for the first, turn 5 for the first time. No way through.
He would have taken himself into the race here. Alex Marquez was the only rider of the immediate rear tyre.
That has been picked up by Marquez and Quartararo. On the side of that big scale there, Bagnaia got picked up. Oh, just looking further back to try and track Marquez and Quartararo. I don't know if that was Binder's advice here, but lifted up Pecco Bagnaia. Coming through was the South African, the back to KTM, and Alex Marquez too. So Bagnaia has been pushed back down to P6.
That's where he started. Here comes Binder trying to get up the inside of Luca Marini. Binder now goes on the attack again, having got past Bagnaia. Someone else was up in the back of the picture. Two gas take 3 KTM to the brand rival. Martin leads it in the first lap, but as we suspected, he's not bolting. He wants to make sure he's not on the third leg at the end, as Vinales goes way out wide into turn 1.
Was that just a front end scale early on here for Bagnaia? As close as brothers off the circuit. Bagnaia picks up Marquez. Italians then back into 5th place now. Recovering after that skirmish and scare on the opening lap.
Does Martin play this then? I'm sure he would like to trust even a little bit of margin in the puts him under threat from behind, and Alexis Spargo is very keen to try and take the lead away from the margin. Marini now shows the inside of Alexis Spargo. The field's still very much close together, which is not what they were back in the spring yesterday.
Yeah, Martin knows he can't go gun-ho on here. I think the lines up a move on Marini. Scoring out through turn left, no way through. Martin knows this is a long 3-6 lap race. Tyre preservation will be pivotal, and he just cannot bolt. He can't try and break early on, otherwise he may go to the same kind of deterioration on that rear tyre he had in the quite last weekend. So this is Martin just protecting that lead, riding as fast as he dare to manage the tyres.
Launching a revenge mission on Binder and ended up losing in place once again. To show you how relatively slow the leading pace is, the fastest rider on track is Marc Marquez, although he's now sailed wide into turn 1. He just done a 1:31.6.
Yeah, sailing through, came out from that left, he's having a good run to next RNF Aprilia. A lot better than his teammate Miguel there, who's down in 18th place. He's just picked up on the outside. That's what we're working with. To push with his normal hard aggressive attacking style earlier, because he knows that that can find that time protection. So he just not willing to stick his neck right out here as Alex Marquez coming from a long way back, trying to pinch that inside line through.
Marquez having a look at Bagnaia too. So Bagnaia, who knows he's not exactly out of contention here, although he's running 6th, his pack is still together. He needs to be careful here. He doesn't drop too far back down the order. His Binder this time does come through. On the Marini took it 12 back in his run yesterday, taking in just 2.5
Ducati and Marquez.
Bagnaia doesn't need all of this, does he? Looking at all the chaos throwing up ahead of him in the battle between Marquez and Marini. Bagnaia just wants a nice and steady and nice and comfortable racing without too much drama and front or behind him. Looks like there's going to be plenty of braking. Marc Marquez still very much in touch in 7th. Fabio Quartararo is also
that inside line through the bottom turn 4, and here comes Marquez, who's going to pinch that inside line through 5, and he squeezes Bagnaia out to the paintwork, and now Marc Marquez then comes through up into the 6th place. That's beautiful by Bagnaia, although I think Marquez is going to try and get him on the comeback. They're losing a little bit of precious time here. They try and tough it out. Bagnaia's right leg almost clipped by the left bearing of the Reps Honda as Binder now through on Alexis Spargo. This is like the Photo 3 back there early on in Buriram. Bagnaia now being pushed back down to 7th place. From bad to worse for the world champ.
With this and just start fighting fire with fire. Alexis Spargo now on the inside.
How close was that? Alexis Spargo almost having contact with Alex Spargo as he checks up with Marini coming through the final corner. Martin and Binder fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:31.211, the best from Binder. You can just see how much time preservation is a factor early on here. The top 20 riders at the end of lap 4 will come by less than 5 seconds. Here comes Marquez and trying to make it back through on Marini. Binder thought about it, but Martin just too razor sharp. From Ducati on the brakes into turn 3, and this melee that's building behind the top 2. Martin and Binder are starting to clear off.
He can't afford to let this group get too far up the road from it.
Yeah, over the line, Bagnaia was 1.4 seconds back of Martin at one stage in this group yesterday. Early clashes with the younger of the Marquez brothers, and Joan Zarco really disrupted. Finally, Alex Marquez, well, he's attempted this move at least half a dozen occasions. This time around, coming through turn 7, he finally makes it through.
Reminder, Alex Marquez is the sole rider in this field who's on the medium green tyre. So he's going to be competitive. It's going to be early on. He's trying to make hay while the sun relatively shines here.
On the front tyre pressure as he's mired in this group, although he's getting on with it. Impressive work this by the world champion. 1:31.066 is the best lap on this Grand Prix so far. So that puts him at a 10 between the top 2 Martin and Binder, who are nearly a second clear of Alex Marquez.
The top 18 riders on the road, so that's how relatively slow the pace is, and that's how tight the field is. It's Bagnaia taking that wider entry line to give himself the best possible slingshot. It's quite deceptive through there. There are 2 potential lines through that hairpin at the end of the day. This is the fight of 5th and 6th from Martin and Binder.
That's a pretty perilous position to be in, isn't it? When you see +0.93 on your pit board, you find the World Championship is to try and make sure that the door open. There's no room for Marquez to stick that to 23. On board then with Binder, sweeping through turn 10. Right there now through the 4th gear, building up to around 270 kilometers an hour. Then you drop anchor, drop the right leg. Hopefully you've got the apex right here, tied on the inside of turn 12. Martin then it is that will lead at the end of this lap 6. Marini now announces to Marco Francesco that he's crossed the line 8 points. 1:31.322. On the move. On that last lap he took Quartararo and Ralph Fernandez. Quartararo drops to 10th. liking the French duo right now as he slips behind Quartararo and Zarco. Marco Bezzecchi, you just wonder how hard he's had to work early on to recover those lost places. How much he's already put some effort into that rear tyre, may potentially hit some good issues later on. He's putting on strong in this Bezzecchi getting on Fabio Quartararo, and that was a real time. How close do you want to there? No, there's the right way with the orange disc, so obviously a tip issue for Oliveira.
20th place at the moment, and he's off the back of that. Looks like he's going to try. In fact, he has now stopped out on track.
There's Marquez.
Marquez, who made this move yesterday on the final lap of the sprint, and he's done it once again. Been the race himself, so Marc Marquez now into the top six. Aleix Espargaro going the wrong way.
Awesome job again by Marc Marquez, but he was on that third row. He said if you get on those first three rows, you can make the start and press it early on, you can go away with the lead through. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Of course, he's probably fighting as well from the relatively slow pace at the front of this Grand Prix. This was inside the race Espargaro through the Serbian 275 minutes now. The turns that make that so easy to be Pecco Bagnaia. Let's find the way down the wall like those pressures. Bang, that's 6 off from Marc Marquez.
I saw the yellow and red flag and light panel flashing out into the back straight, so maybe Miguel Oliveira had some fluid dropping out of his body.
Aleix Espargaro and Marc Marquez, well, they had a proper battle royale at the end of the sprint yesterday. They barged into each other. And coming out of the high-speed turn four, neither wants to give a millimetre, let alone an inch. And Aleix Espargaro back on the inside of the eight-time world champion. All the best is allowing Bagnaia, that lead group, to get away. They've just got to calm down here, get back into a lead, because Marquez now is back towards Bezzecchi and Quartararo. That was so close. Some proper old-fashioned rubbing going on there between the two most experienced men in this MotoGP field.
This is Bagnaia coming through on Buriram. Bagnaia now getting up to speed. Unable to make his way through, but it does appear now with that battle royal, as you described it, between Espargaro and Marquez, that they've lost touch with this leading five. It cost them over a second. Marc Marquez to the 1:32.2, which was over a second slower than he was going. The fastest rider on track is now the big rider in the office.
To get from the leading grid, best wasteland. There is your top four, briefly in the same position. You're really pushing back the rear tyres. You fire out of the first turn 250. But through the cross now is into the left hand of turn 4, into the start of the infield section then. Martin Binder within touching distance of the Prima Ducati rider. Look at the tension written on the face of Ducati boss Gino Borsa. The moment his man has the most sterling job of ever done. He still leads this Thailand Grand Prix.
I think it's going to be back-to-back wins for John Zarco.
This league group, he hopes, was continuing up in the 7th place. Bagnaia looks like he's got the better speed, the confidence coming through turning everywhere. Perhaps that high-speed flick might be struggling with really with the corner. It's so good. And again, Bagnaia just cannot get close enough to find a way through as we flick it hard right into the first corner. He'll now get some slipstream right now on the rear tyre. Marini really bit close to pull out the slipstream and attack Marini on the brakes into turn 3. That's flying right now for Bagnaia. Is he going to get this moved up on the inside of Marini into turn 3? Marini leans on the world champion. Bagnaia looks like he has got through. We're telling up to 4th, Schubert.
All the credit to Pecco Bagnaia at this stage of the race, given out the race being trundling onto the end by Marc Marquez and it will back to Marquez. Much like in Australia, isn't it? He's kept his head, he's realised that it's a long race, which is about 70 laps to go. The points are handed out at the end, and Pecco Bagnaia is starting to make his way into contention here.
He said yesterday in the sprint that he felt like he had clear podium race. Felt like he had the pace to go with Roy Martin on the front. And we know how good he is at just managing that rear tyre. We saw it perfectly illustrated in Hungary a couple of weeks ago. That was right there. Just really walked on this one. He really started to settle in that deep rear tyre. It was around lap 8 or 9 in the sprint yesterday where a few riders said that there was quite a significant drop-off, and we're at that phase of this full Grand Prix here today, so we'll give up the right now. Marc Marquez, to his credit, and to be fair to him, he's still doing the same lap time. The top three, 1:31.1. As Bagnaia again, just that slightly quicker of that lead quartet, and having got through quickly on the lead, to immediately establish an advantage of nearly 4/10 of a second over his VR46 Academy stable.
The pace is noticeably slower.
Between turns 5 and 6, so you can see also now that Binder has not been able to get away. We've got 2 or 3 laps to go. Marc Marquez has cut second. Country of 3 laps. So we get Buriram Grand Prix weekend. Comes back now. Bagnaia now is starting to build some speed and momentum in this final sector. I don't think he's any close enough to launch away. Martin goes super defensive again, doesn't he? On that inside, he's doing everything with his power here to resist Bagnaia. And you look at that in the championship, he's not going to finish behind Bagnaia. We've led so much at this time Grand Prix. 2 to go here in Buriram, and it's still in the hands of KTM and Binder.
A 14-point gap between Bagnaia and Martin. If the second and third riders swap places, it would go up to 22 points. So quite a lot. Martin's actually coming back at Binder here.
Oh, fair play, look at this by Martin. He knows it's going to be really, really close. He's going to squeeze Binder out wide, and coming through is Bagnaia. They almost touch it back. Bagnaia's front tyre did rub on Binder's rear tyre. Another big swing in this World Championship battle. Martin back at the front, lap and a half to go in this Thai Classic.
Massive credit to Martin there. We thought his victory prospects were potentially fading. He now goes through Binder. Bagnaia surely now has to go on the offensive. He can't allow Martin to win this race with a KTM between himself and his chief time rival. He's now to just 9 points.
What can Bagnaia do here later? What can Binder do as well as Martin then is back in the front of this Buriram Grand Prix? Here comes Binder. That's where he's been so good. That's been his favourite overtaking hotspot through turn 8. Again, he almost can reach out and grab Jorge Martin's exhaust pipe there, can't he, on that Prima Ducati. We are 1 lap and 2 corners remaining here in what has been another Buriram thriller around the outside. Here comes Pecco Bagnaia. Look at this by the world champion around the outside of both Martin and Binder. Astonishing bravery and skill there by the world champion. Last lap underway. Martin, Bagnaia or Binder, who is going to win this Thai Grand Prix?
How did Bagnaia get such a slow start in turns 10 and 11? He almost had to make that move and go around the outside. Our 2 previous Thai Grand Prix here have both been decided at turn number 12. I think we're heading for a third here.
Overtaking hotspot N2, 3. Binder's not been close enough to find the KTM on the inside of Martin. Martin defending resolutely here at the front of this Thai Grand Prix. He knows this will be a massive victory for him. He now gets the power down, streaks away from Binder as they tack now towards the 4th gear, turn 4. It looks like Bagnaia is running out of time here in 3rd place.
Binder's best opportunity based on what we've seen so far will be into turn number 8. This is turn number 5. We've got a couple more on left-handers before they turn in right through 7. Binder has attacked twice already in pace. This might be his best opportunity. Also, he's clear leaving for turn number 12.
And what about Bagnaia? Has he got something up his sleeve? There's an ace up his sleeve in that final sector. Yet again, he squeezes that front brake as hard as he dares. He tries to hunt down Martin and Binder. It's all on the line there now in this final sector in Buriram. They'll flick it hard left through turn 10. Who is going to win this epic, thrilling last lap showdown here? It looks like it's going to be Martin, but here comes Binder. Martin goes super defensive. How tight is Jorge Martin going to go